Emmerdale's Joe Tate will soon find himself facing Moira Dingle's shotgun after she uncovers the disturbing truth about how he used her farm against her. Moira arrives at Home Farm in a furious state, armed and determined, after Robert Sugden reveals that Joe instructed him to set her up for Celia Daniels' wrongdoing. Overcome with rage, Moira listens as Robert explains how Joe manipulated events to destroy her life. But knowing her husband Kane is currently struggling, she decides to confront Joe on her own. In true Moira fashion, she grabs her shotgun and heads straight to see Joe. At that moment, she is fully intent on killing him. She forces him to sit down and demands a confession, while Joe tries to act innocent, though she is already certain of his guilt. Robert eventually comes clean after Moira goes out of her way to support him at Butler's farm. Kane becomes frustrated as Moira spends more time helping Robert learn the ropes instead of focusing on building their new Dingle farm, which only deepens Robert's guilt. Moira notices something is wrong and presses him for answers, leading Robert to finally break down and admit everything. Moira is deeply hurt, having believed Robert had changed for the better. He then confesses that Joe was behind it all and that he was trying to protect Victoria. Fueled by anger, Moira heads to Home Farm with the intention of killing Joe, feeling so consumed by emotion that she no longer fears returning to prison. She believes Joe kept her separated from her children while Kane had to face his illness alone, and she is disgusted by what she sees as his cruelty, greed, and obsession with power. Joe's fate hangs in the balance as Moira raises the gun to take her revenge until Graham Foster unexpectedly arrives on the scene. Whether he intervenes to save Joe and prevent disaster remains to be seen. Emmerdale reveals Ross Barton's heartbreaking new conflict in Baby storyline. Ross Barton is set to struggle with an immediate emotional connection to baby Layla next week, after Jacob Sugden invites him along to a family get-together. Although Ross tries hard to stay distant from his hidden biological daughter, he unexpectedly ends up in an uncomfortable situation when he is asked to attend her welcome celebration. The question remains whether he will agree to be part of Layla's introduction into the village. Ross is determined to stay away from the baby, according to an Emmerdale insider. He believes that keeping his distance will stop him from becoming emotionally attached. However, the baby girl is far too close to ignore, and Ross finds it increasingly difficult to stay away. After Layla's dramatic arrival in the hospital lift, Sarah and Jacob are excited to finally bring her home. Now officially her parents, they are eager to start their new life together and settle her into the village. Despite her chaotic entry into the world, Layla already has several visitors keen to meet her at Farah's barn, including her secret father. Ross is carrying a major secret, the insider adds. He not only knows the truth about Layla's origins, but is also close to Charity's partner. With Sarah and Jacob completely unaware, their first meeting with Ross and the baby becomes deeply uncomfortable. Ross arrives with Mackenzie Boyd, bringing a gift for Moses, while Sarah and Jacob are enjoying time with their newborn. Jacob, as a first-time father, welcomes them inside, but tension rises when Ross avoids holding Layla, clearly uncomfortable. Still caught up in their happiness, the couple later invite Ross and Moses to a family gathering that same day. Ross hesitates, searching for a way out, but it remains uncertain whether he will attend. Biologically, Layla is Moses' half-sister, though that truth is being kept hidden. Ross may feel tempted to reveal everything, but with Charity still recovering from a difficult experience, it is not the right time for the secret to come out. The question now is how long Ross will be able to keep his feelings hidden before the truth starts to slip. Emmerdale spoilers reveal Paddy Kirk's heartbreaking exit as he prepares to say goodbye to the village. Paddy Kirk and Dylan Penders are facing a crucial turning point as their court hearing finally arrives to decide their future. For weeks, both have been uncertain about what lies ahead after admitting they helped Bear dispose of Ray's body, believing it would support Bear's situation and result in a lighter consequence. However, the situation becomes far more serious when it is later uncovered that Ray had been depositing large amounts of money into Bear's account. This new revelation shifts everything, making Bear appear complicit and casting Paddy's actions in a much darker light. Paddy already suspects things will not end well, and he steels himself to tell his daughter Eve that her father may soon be taken away from her. When Eve hears rumors that Paddy has been arrested, she becomes distressed, forcing him to explain that his involvement in helping her grandfather now puts him at risk of prison. Emotional scenes follow as Eve pleads with him not to leave, while Mandy is devastated watching the impact of the situation unfold. In a moment of panic, Mandy suggests that Paddy should allow Bear to take the blame, but Paddy is horrified by the idea and walks away. Mandy quickly regrets her words, and the pair later reconcile after recognizing their reactions are driven by fear and desperation. Paddy later visits Bear in prison, where he finds his father struggling mentally as the bank account linked to Ray continues to haunt him. The evidence is becoming increasingly damaging, especially after Bear's own mistakes have made things worse. Just when hope seems lost, a surprising twist arrives as Simo, one of Bear's former captives believed to be dead, suddenly reappears. His return offers a brief chance of salvation, and Paddy desperately asks him to testify. However, Simo refuses, stating that although Bear does not deserve prison, he cannot get involved. With that final opportunity gone, Paddy is forced to accept that all options have been exhausted. As his future hangs in the balance, he stands at the doorway of Tenants, taking in what may be his final moments in the village, wondering if Ray has ultimately won from beyond the grave. Emmerdale Star has opened up about whether Jacob will leave his job amid a workplace bullying storyline. Joe Plant and Caroline Harker have addressed the question of whether Jacob Sugden might resign from his hospital role as the drama continues involving his difficult relationship with Dr. Caitlin Todd. The ITV soap has been focusing on an issue-based plot over recent months, showing Jacob being undermined and emotionally manipulated by Dr. Todd. The situation has even spilled outside the hospital after the doctor moved into the village. Recently, her behavior escalated further when she harshly mocked parts of Jacob's traumatic history. In recent episodes, Jacob took a major step by formally reporting her to HR. Although it is still unclear whether the complaint will help his situation, Plant, who portrays Jacob, has spoken about the possibility of his character walking away from his job if things become too difficult. He explained that everything is reaching a breaking point for Jacob, but the career means a lot to him as it was something he worked hard for and something his mother Layla was extremely proud of. Because of that, Jacob feels a strong pressure to continue and prove his strength and ability. According to Plant, Jacob is not someone who easily gives up, and at this stage he is more likely to endure the situation rather than leave. However, he also admitted that Jacob often makes things worse for himself by refusing to step away when he probably should. He added that Jacob is clearly struggling, but occasional moments of encouragement from Dr. Todd keep him emotionally trapped. When he is vulnerable, he looks for reassurance that he is doing well, but unfortunately, it is coming from the same person who is causing him harm. Caroline Harker, who plays Dr. Todd, explained that this kind of behavior reflects real workplace bullying patterns, where someone is repeatedly pulled back in just when they start to feel secure, only to be undermined again. While the storyline is intense, both actors also praise the hospital set and the production team, saying it feels incredibly realistic and different from other parts of the show. Plant added that the hospital environment raises the stakes and creates a stronger sense of tension, helping to deliver more powerful drama on screen. Emmerdale is broadcast on ITV1 on weekday evenings at 8 p.m. and is also available to stream on ITVX.